So I've been born and brought up in Lucknow, and I've done my schooling from Lucknow only. Post that, I did my BTech from Thapa University, Patiala, in electrical engineering domain, and I've graduated in the year 2020. Right, and I got campus placement in one of the big manufacturing company. So I was I was in the operations and supply chain domain basically, and for good 4.5 years I was into that same company. I was learning there only, and post that ISB happened. Yeah, this was a brief, intro about me. So for me, as I mentioned, that it was not like that I've given the GMAT before. It was the first time that I had to give the GMAT. So I had given CAT before and scored like decent 97, 98 percentile there. So I had a decent grasp on the quant part, to be honest, right? But again, the difference between the verbal part of CAT and GMAT is quite different, especially for us like engineers. It's quite different. It's quite difficult for sure. So I started preparing for GMAT like in I think June. I started preparing for in GMAT for June month, and in June when I started quants, I was done within like 1 2 weeks. Uh, then the verbal was most difficult part for me, right? I took some coaching support for sure, and I tried giving mocks. So my first mock without preparation was horrible. I still remember I scored somewhere around 515, 525, and I was shocked because I was of the perception, yes, still I got 98% in CAT. So I think Utna kuch means somewhat it will come near to it, but it was horrible. So that time I got to know that it is a different ball game again. So I started preparing for it, and the first serious mock which I gave, I got decent, like 645 in it. But again, like just like interview, I think GMAT is also a very D-Day type of exam. Means what kind of questions you get in the exam is very, it can be anything, right? And it's very adaptive exam. You'll not get to know that whether you're doing right or wrong. It's like that, right? So my first GMAT, the bad thing that happened with me was I started getting good GMAT mock scores, the official GMAT scores. I was getting above 700, 705, 725, right? But when I gave my first official GMAT, I got 645 there. So I was very disappointed, and because of this, I turned up from round one to round two. Okay. I went to round two again. I started preparing again. I was not able to get it where I'm doing the mistake. Because in exam, I was not able to turn up this marks. Again, got the one thing which I want to mention here. That's my observation. The official GMAT mocks, I think they are simpler than what comes in the exam. That's totally my perception. It's not written anywhere, and it may be wrong. I don't know, but just what I'm saying. Because if you see my GMAT official mock scores, it's above 700 every time, almost. Or maybe I just like I lose my control in the exam. That can also happen. Uh, Again, I gave my second attempt just before the round two deadline, and I got I guess 635, and I was shattered. I was completely shattered. It's like I've lost the hope now. But no option was left. I want to go into ISB. So again, I started preparing for it. And in my last attempt, just before the R3 deadline, I got 665. Again, it was not a very great score, to be honest. Just means these are some of the lowest scores which I got in my mocks. But this was it. So I want to tell you this thing that being an engineer, first of all, like the majority of the candidates, applying in R3 with a 665 GMAT score and getting through it actually tells a lot about it that the GMAT is just one part of the application process. Means a lot of people told me ki don't apply it this year because it's very difficult for you. It's already R3. You don't have a very great GMAT score. It's decent only, right? It's a decent GMAT score. You don't have a great GMAT score. Engineer profile R3 doesn't suit at all. So they asked me that don't be as a reapplicant, apply it next year. That's what some of my people told me. But I was like, I think that this is just one component of it. I have other academic achievements to show as well. And what I have heard is ISB itself has written that they look at the overall profile, the holistic picture, right? So why to just bet on this only? So I applied, and the result is in front of you only. So that's the one thing which I want to mention because I know few of my friends also dropped off, not applying to ISB with a score of 655, 665. Even I know someone who didn't apply for 685. I don't know why. But this is a clear statement I want to mention that GMAT is just one part of it. And it's okay if you get a great score. I'll tell you, means one of a few of my friends who had 705, 725, few of them didn't even get the interview call, and few got it, but they didn't convert it. So you can get, I'm not saying that GMAT is not important. For sure, it is important, but it's just one part of it. If you're able to compensate in another part, it's totally suitable. It's totally viable to go. So that is something about GMAT which I'm to tell you. And my you can take my example only. I in my time I used to see people's example if there's someone who got into 665, 655. And now I think I have only done it at 665. So yeah, GMAT is just one part of it. But just maintain a decent score, because at 615, 625, 635, that is, I think, then you have to be exceptionally good in some of the other place to be at it. That is one thing. But I think 665, 675 is a decent score to apply for an engineer as well. Okay. So this was about GMAT. Yeah. And just to mention that I had some academic achievement also, if people want to know about it. So I was bronze medalist in my college. So this was one motivating part, thing that made me think that, okay, I have some academic achievement to compensate with my decent GMAT score. So just a one point of it, that I had some academic achievement in my previous academics as well. So that's the only thing.